If you are on the edge of giving up right now, this video is for you. If you are at that point where everything is at its worst and nothing is changing, don't stop. Watch. Because what I am about to tell you could change everything. There is a pattern throughout the Bible, and once you see this pattern, you can never forget it. God's greatest breakthroughs always come right after the darkest moment. The Red Sea parted when Israel was trapped in the wilderness. The Egyptian army was behind them. The sea was in front of them. There seemed to be no way out. At that exact moment, the moment it seemed impossible, the sea parted. And now I want to ask you this. What if the darkness you are living through right now is the moment right before your breakthrough? Today we are going to talk about the 5 signs that God is preparing you for a major breakthrough. And if a few of these signs are in you, the most wrong time to give up might be right now. Now maybe this is going through your mind, but I have been waiting for a long time, and nothing has changed. That is easy to say, but hear this. The moment right before a breakthrough is usually the moment that feels most hopeless. Why? Because a breakthrough begins where the old completely ends. Think of a seed. It falls into the soil, and there it decays. Someone looking from the outside would say, "It died." But that decay is actually the beginning. The shell breaks, and new life comes out of exactly that breaking. Jesus said in John 12:24, "Unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much fruit." Maybe right now you feel like you are decaying, but maybe you are actually being planted. This is more important than you think, because most people give up one step away from their breakthrough, right when the door is about to open, right when the sea is about to part, right when the dawn is about to break. And that is tragic, because the darkest moment is most often the moment right before dawn. Here are the 5 signs that God is preparing you for a major breakthrough. Sign 1. Everything got hard at the same time. Have you noticed this? Sometimes problems do not come one by one. They all come at once. Work, relationship, health, finances. It is as if everything is shaking at the same time. And you ask, why all of it now? Wait a moment. In the Bible, there is usually an intense season of pressure before great breakthroughs. Think of Joseph. He was sold as a slave, falsely accused, thrown into prison, all right before his great rise. Sometimes intense pressure is the sign not of a collapse, but of a birth. And birth is painful, but the pain is the sign of a beginning, not an end. Sign 2. Old things no longer work. The things that once worked, your old habits, your old methods, your old comfort zones, no longer work. And this makes you restless. But hear this. This is not a breakdown. This is a preparation. God sometimes makes the old useless because you need to move on to something new. Isaiah 43 verse 19 says, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" A new thing. But before the new can begin, the old must end. If old things no longer satisfy you, maybe you are being prepared for something new. Sign 3. There is a restlessness inside you that you cannot explain. This is an interesting sign. Everything actually looks fine, but there is a restlessness inside you, a feeling of there must be more, an anticipation. Do not misread this restlessness. Sometimes this is the sign that God is preparing you to move. A baby bird becomes restless before leaving the nest. The nest no longer feels comfortable because it is time to fly. Maybe that restlessness inside you is not a problem. Maybe it is a calling. Sign 4. The way you pray has intensified. Maybe lately your prayers are deeper, more frequent, more desperate, as if something inside you is crying out, "God, do something." This is not a coincidence. In the Bible, there is usually an intense season of prayer before great breakthroughs. Hannah prayed so deeply before she had her child that Eli thought she was drunk. And right after that intense season of prayer, Samuel was born. If your prayer has intensified lately, maybe something is about to be born. Sign 5. Right when you are about to give up, you feel a small spark of hope. This is perhaps the most important sign. Everything seems over. You are about to give up. And then, a small spark you don't know where it came from. A verse touches you. A song warms your heart. For a moment you say, maybe. Do not ignore this spark, because that small hope that comes right where the darkness is deepest is most often God's way of saying, hold on, I am almost here. Galatians 6 verse 9 says, let us not grow weary in doing good, for if we do not give up, we will reap in due season. In due season. Maybe your season is approaching right now. Now I need to stop here and be honest. Not every difficulty is the sign of a breakthrough. Sometimes difficulties are the result of decisions we need to address. Sometimes the things that need to change are our own choices. Sometimes the breakthrough we are waiting for is waiting for a step we need to take. And sometimes, this must be said honestly too, what we are waiting for may not be God's plan for us, and His no is also a grace. But if you are doing the right thing, waiting faithfully, and most of these 5 signs are in you, the wrong time to give up might be right now. So what will you do now? First, postpone the decision to give up. Not just today, not just this week, until you see whether the breakthrough comes. Most breakthroughs come right at the edge of giving up. Second, write down which of these 5 signs are in you. Seeing makes believing easier, and the more signs you have, the closer you are. Third, take one small step of faithfulness today. A breakthrough comes not through big moves, but through small, faithful steps taken in the dark. There is one you can take today. Take it. The darkest moment is the moment right before dawn. And if you are in darkness right now, maybe the dawn is much closer than you think. When Israel was trapped before the sea, there was no way out. But God parted the waters. Joseph was in prison and forgotten. But from exactly that point, he became the second man of a nation. The moment it seemed impossible, God always made a way. He will make one for you too. If today you saw one of these signs in yourself, wait a moment and notice that. The most wrong time to give up is the moment you are closest to your breakthrough. Write this in the comments. God, I am not giving up. I trust my breakthrough. Let that not just be a comment, let that be a declaration of faith. And if you took any hope from this video, share it with a friend who is going through the same darkness right now. Maybe they need this today. Subscribe for more content, because here we do not just produce content, we pursue real transformation.